Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. It is a rare Friday edition of Rip N Riff. I'm kind of feeling this. Week is behind us. My weekend start. I'm a Friday, Saturday weekend. I'm good vibes. I'm playing in both pickup hockey games this afternoon at the local ice rink. Beers with the boys in the parking lot for a little while afterwards. What a way to kick off a Friday here. Let's go.
Yeah, to quote the great philosopher Rebecca Black, got to get down on a Friday.
Yeah, I mean, she wrote a whole song about it, apparently.
Yeah, she ahead of the curve.
She was ahead of the curve Friday, baby. It's also March Madness. Our Rip and Rants will be related to that. It's the stretch run of this NHL regular season and the NBA season. We've got NFL news. There's so much going on here. We got packs to rip today. Pretty good day here. How do we feel about heading into the weekend here?
I feel better about a lot of things if the previous weekend hadn't gone so well. In fact, since I have you here, do you want to play a fun impromptu game called How Much Money Did I Lose Gambling This Past Weekend?
Yeah, how are we going to do this? Like, you're going to give me a number and I got to guess over under? Or
No. You're going to throw out a number. I'm just going to say higher or lower.
All right.
Put it this way. I played the same game with Greg Peterson while I was producing on VSiN this week, and it took him like 15 guesses.
800.
Higher.
800. 1500.
Higher than 800. Higher.
1500.
Higher.
$3,000.
Lower.
Okay, all right. So now I've established the zone here. This is like the reverse of the starting lineup figure 5. Let's honor the late, great Ricky Henderson. 2,400.
Very close. Yeah. $2,540.
That's a bad weekend. So, I mean, I guess this weekend, just unless, something on your car breaks down or something, is automatically going to be better compared to last weekend.
Well, let's not put that bad juju into the universe talking about my car breaking down after.
And knock on wood, it's fine.
After I just put 500 miles on it this weekend. But yes, I greatly appreciate that. But yeah, it's a great weekend. You mentioned the tournament. We obviously have that going on. Baseball opening day is next week. I didn't mention this to you before the show, but I do have an impromptu I Love Lucy, so we could do that at some point as well. We got a lot of stuff to do today.
That's right. And another thing happening this weekend is something we're tracking on Total Hockey Now, but we're big hockey fans here. Quick mention, we got the Ovometer going here. He got 888 last night, so he's got 7 to go with his next chance coming up at home against the Panthers tomorrow. So you like the Gretzky there in the odometer, don't you?
Could you have picked a better photo of Wayne Gretzky than that? I mean, come on.
Thank you for noticing, because it's got
that's the first thing I noticed.
It's got the mullet. He's looking up with like, uh-oh, he's coming. It's perfect.
Oh, what a picture, man. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we'll bring that back and forth here. I figured you'd appreciate that. Let's get down to business here. Pack ripping lineup, and then we'll get to Rip and Rant and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah, we'll open some cards. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, we'll do all that. I'll go first here. I'm going to actually go last, I believe, today. I got some 1995 Top Stadium Club baseball. No great rookies there. Hideo Nomo and Armando Benitez, but former Sirius XM colleague CJ Nikowski as well. And then you see the, inserts and sets down there. Power Zone, Crystal Ball, Clear Cut. They're good-looking cards. That's why I picked up the pack. I like the look of these guys. So looking forward to that. What do you got to the table today?
Oh, yeah. Suffer New York legend, CJ Nikowski. How could you forget about him? No, we love CJ. So that sounds like a backhanded compliment, but I actually love CJ. He's awesome. 1995 Absolute Playoff NFL pack. You see the rookies on the screen there. The late great Steve McNair, Kerry Collins, Tony Baselli. I feel like we've done a lot of 1995 packs. That particular group of rookies keeps popping up, but that's neither here nor there. And 2023 Top Series 2 MLB cards. Look for autograph and relic cards. It'd be nice if we actually pulled like an autograph card of like a noteworthy player in one of these. I feel like anytime we pull an autograph, like it's always like some random NPC. It's like, how about for once we pull like a Mookie Betts or like a Bobby Witt Jr. or somebody like that. Could we What's the saying? Aim for those stars and you'll hit the moon, or shoot for the moon.
Something like that. Yeah, aim high and you'll get. Yeah, basically, we'd like to. I think Blake Corum is the best rookie we've pulled on this show. So,
yeah. Well, in terms of rookie autographs, yes. So,
yeah, that was. There we go. So we got some baseball. Spring training is wrapping up. Regular season kicks off next week. We don't count the 2 games in Japan between the Dodgers and Cubs here. I know they count in the standings and in the stats. That's not opening day. A first pitch cannot be at 3 a.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. Pacific. No, I can't have that. But that's not what today's Rip N Rant's going to be about. Today's Rip N Rant, we're gonna hit the world of college basketball here. So let's kick it off. It's time to kick things off on Rip N Riff with
my Rip N Rant.
Thanks, Dave. All right, so I want to have a minor rant about the button that would not play. When I let's just get that out of the way. Nonetheless, it's Rip and Rant time, and mine's not like, listen, we're not attacking anybody today. It's not this big deal. But yes, March Madness has kicked off. We're in the second day of the first round. Tomorrow kicks off the round of 32. And the thing I miss is when you had that first week, those first 2 days, where they're literally bouncing around between 4 or 8 different sites over the course of a couple of days, and it's everywhere. And you have that local flair. When they were in Boise State, when they were playing, went to the Boise Regional, you knew they were in Boise because you'd see the blue and the orange on the court. There were certain factors that, that identified the court you're at. I understand it's for branding. I understand it makes everything look uniform now. But to me, it's just so boring to have every court have that March Madness logo in the middle with the same color scheme and everything. It's to me, it almost helps with remembering where teams are when you would have the local court look there. So, again, it's aesthetics. It's never going back. I get it. But that is one thing I do miss about March Madness is that, when you would bounce around to the different courts, you got to see all these different things. And just, I don't know, to me, it made it look better. I understand the other side of the argument, but that's just, one of those things that's not going to come back.
It's almost like for lack of a better term, sterile look.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that just everything just looks the same, like no matter no matter where you're watching or which game you're watching. No, I agree with you there. There's a lot of weird little things about how the NCAA runs the tournament that just drives me nuts. There's that. There's the fact on Saturdays they have the standalone games early in the day and then they load up in the back half. It's I'd rather it be a little more balanced and you have because part of the fun of the March Madness is you have all these games going on at once and you're not even sure what to watch. You're flipping channels. You got an upset going on here, or this big, this team that you have in the Sweet 16 or whatever is losing here, and you want to check in on that. So no, I definitely get all that. So I'm feeling that. That's a good little mini rant there. I like that.
And it's to me, I would have no idea about the University of New Mexico, except growing up, you'd be like, oh, they're at the pit. You know what I mean? And you would see the pit on the court. And so simple things like that. I get, I get it. I'm the old man, ranting about something that's not coming back. But, like you said, it's almost become too sterile in a way where everything looks the same. And it's all, you get the random look at these random, University of Dayton. And the other thing too now is all the games are available. When we were growing up, it was on CBS and whatever you got regionally, that was it.
That was it.
Your game was a blowout, but somewhere else was good. They did a good job bouncing you around. As long as, New York, we'd get screwed on the football games because the Jets and the Giants growing up, you couldn't program against them if they were at home. New York, you don't really have a college team there for that to worry about. So New York always got the best games for March Madness. But yeah, nowadays you can watch any of them. Was it True TV, TBS, TNT, and I get the fourth one, but
and CBS,
duh. So yeah, it's the way they should stagger the games. It should be a standalone games in the evening. Put your marquee matchups there. You maybe have one extra game and go out so you have something to change to. Yeah, having that one game early in the day, if that's a blowout, I'm all right, next. There's no reason to watch. There we go. A little. We talked a little March Madness. We did our obligation. And I fill out a bracket? Sure. I feel like at this time of the year, it's you work in sports. It's something you got to do. Do I care? No. Am I going to sit here and tell you, oh, you should have taken Texas Tech? and not so. The hell do I know?
Now, this is where I'm going to say that you, my friend Adam, you're a good friend because you filled out a bracket, but you don't feel the need to tell me, oh my God, I just lost one of my Sweet 16 teams on 3:00 on Thursday. Nobody cares. That's my mini March Madness rant. Nobody cares about your bracket. In fact, you probably shouldn't even fill out a bracket. Like, why are you filling out a bracket? You want to join some office pool that you're never going to win because you're going to lose it to Susie in accounting, who hasn't watched a college basketball game all year, and she just picks all the higher seeds, or she picks teams based on their mascot. Like, why put yourself through that aggravation every year?
That's the thing. Like you said, like, I'm not sitting here like, I don't even know. There are years, and we all go through the phase where we care. There were years I'd have my brackets with me, like within an arm's distance, no matter what I'm doing. Can I tell you I have no idea where it is right now. I am in my office. I don't see it anywhere within arm's distance or like within my field of vision. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I do it because I work in sports.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
The VC contest is fun. That one's fun where you pick against the split because at least you're in every round. You know, it's not like, oh, half my teams are gone.
Yep. So
there we go.
What it is.
Now, so there's we've got March Madness in the show. Starting lineup, figure 5. We'll have a little bit of that later. We're going to get to ripping some packs here, but we're moving things along quickly. So why don't we get to Jared's? I wanted to work that time. Didn't work the previous time. Go for it.
No, just a quick little I Love Lucy because I picked up some new packs over the weekend and picked up a Jason Dominguez rookie card for $3 here. So I didn't realize when I bought it, it was the rookie debut card, which would explain why it's $3. But it can't hurt to get another Jason Dominguez rookie card into the collection since he'll be on the opening day roster for the Yankees. Probably their opening day starting left fielder. So hopefully he lives up to his top prospect billing because if he doesn't, he'll just be another overhyped, overrated Yankee prospect that they probably should have traded for a better player.
That seems to be the direction we're going with him. But hey, it's a new season. See what happens. It's 2025, new year.
Hope springs eternal.
Yes, it does. I love some of these robo calls you get sometimes, and that how nowadays they can like change what they put in the caller ID to like try and get you to pick up versus just saying like unknown. This one just said tax help. Yeah, sure. I'm just going to take some unsolicited, tax advice from somebody who just called me randomly. Yeah, absolutely going to do that. Thank you.
Oh my God.
But nonetheless, we are back to ripping packs here today. And first up, I believe, Jared, you're going to kick things off with a little football here.
Yeah, let's do this football pack. Normally I have multiple of these packs. This is one where I only have one, and I don't really have a better spot to do it. And I guess my excuse to do football today is, Aaron Rodgers is at the Steelers facility today. So maybe that whole Aaron Rodgers saga will finally come to a close today. So,
it would be nice if, if you're going to sign, the Steelers need a quarterback, like, what are you doing here? Either sign Rodgers, like, should have got off the pot. Like the Giants, whatever, who cares? They're trying to get a quarterback next year in the draft. But if you're the Steelers,
right? Like the funny thing with this entire thing is I'm peeling all these cards apart because they're 30-year-old trading cards at this point. Rodgers wanted no part of the Giants. The Giants want Rodgers. I don't know why the Giants want Rodgers because it makes no freaking sense. And he was dragging his whole feet on the Steelers. So hopefully Rodgers has finally decided, it's either going to be the Steelers or nothing, most likely.
I wonder why he was hesitant on the Steelers, because he's actually going to be held accountable by Mike Tomlin.
I mean, he'll be held accountable the same way that Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown and George Pickens and every other malcontent wide receiver they've had there over the years has been held accountable. Yeah. Martavius Bryant. And I'm sure there's others I'm not thinking of right now.
Yeah, the Steelers do have a lineage of just malcontent wide receivers. That's like a Mount Rushmore right there.
I don't even know if malcontent's the right word. I think the word I would use is shithead. They just have a bunch of players who are a bunch of shitheads. And I'm not using this in the endearing term that I do with hockey players who are shitheads. No, I'm talking about like people who, it's not nice to say they have shit for brains, but like they're shitheads.
They don't make the best decisions. We'll say that.
No, they're not. And you have, Antonio Brown tweeting about CT ESPN and the fun CT and all that stuff. So, all right, we have David Palmer from the Minnesota Vikings, one of the teams that Aaron Rodgers has been ruled out of playing for. They're going to obviously go with JJ McCarthy as their starting quarterback, as they probably should. They did use a 12th overall pick on him or whatever it was, and let Sam Darnold walk out the door. So probably the right move there.
I agree. I mean, last year people thought the Vikings were going to be terrible. Then they got this unexpected, great season with Sam Darnold at quarterback. It's almost like you bought a year of not having to develop a rookie quarterback. Now you got to develop that rookie quarterback.
Yep. We have William Floyd with the 49ers.
Talk about good fullbacks.
Yep. The fullback dying breed, obviously. Reggie Brooks with the Washington Redskins.
People were losing their minds when the 49ers in the Bay Area cut Kyle Juszczyk. Now, granted, they ended up signing him anyway, but for that period where he wasn't a Niner, people were like, we're cutting Juszczyk? Why?
Probably because he's been on the team for 9 years and he makes too much money and they wanted to pay him what they wanted to pay him. That would be my guess why they cut him. I just dropped Andre Reed, but there is an Andre Reed card there. So Andre Reed didn't drop a lot of stuff, but I certainly did. Irving Fryer, with the Miami Dolphins there, former Eagle.
Patriot. Another guy that didn't drop a lot of passes either, Irving Fryer. Gets overlooked, but he was a very reliable receiver for a very long time.
Right. We have a Rashawn Salam draft picks card with a dinged up corner there. So this will not go in the old retirement fund.
No, I mean, Rashawn Salam was one of the rookies that we were looking for there, but nonetheless.
Sean Jefferson with the San Diego Chargers.
Did you know Rashawn Salam was the rookie of the year in 95? Talk about a fall off.
Was he the rookie of the year? I didn't even know that. How about that?
1995 UPI rookie of the year. So that's back when they had the AP and the UPI.
Lawrence Dawsey with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the old Bucko Bruce uniforms there.
There we go.
And that was the last card. Let me get Andre Reed so we can.
Yeah, I want to see this Andre Reed card because that's one of the better cards in the deck right there. Yeah, I mean, also another former Sirius XM sports colleague.
Yeah, so legend there with Andre Reed, and there's only 8 cards in that pack. So that pack was as underwhelming as I expected it to be. But fortunately, we have a couple baseball packs here, and hopefully, we either pull a really good rookie or we actually pull a noteworthy autograph and make it worth our while.
Absolutely. I mean, it's baseball season's here. I just had my fantasy, the one baseball league I still do. I had my draft last night, so I'm in baseball mode.
Yep. So we will go through a lot of these really quickly. We have, what year was this? 2023. Okay. I bring that up because, I'm a fucking idiot. I'll explain why in a second. Christian Walker with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now he's with the Houston Astros. Guy the Yankees probably should have signed this offseason, but they didn't want to give him the third year. I checked the pack because I saw Anthony on it, and it's a Yankee. I was like, oh, I guess I pulled an Anthony Volpe rookie card here. No, it's Anthony Rizzo. So
okay.
I'm an idiot. So,
that's all right. So hey, I mean, listen, Anthony Rizzo was good for a few years, kind of fell off, and
we got a lot of nice Italian boys on the Yankees there.
Yes, Rizzo being one of those guys.
Miles Mastrobuoni, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, with the Chicago Cubs, rookie card there.
Yeah, there's I forget if it was like a Skip Carey that was doing like play-by-play, and like it was Mastrobuoni was like coming into the game and he was replacing somebody that he's like, it's a good thing Jeff Francoeur is not here right now, otherwise he'd have fun with this.
Yeah, you got to be careful with a last name like that, for obvious reasons. Jose Suarez with the Angels, here delivering a pitch.
Shout out Tyler Soto. Shout out Ed Rouse.
Yep. Let's see. JD Martinez, current free agent. Doesn't here. He was with the Dodgers this year, so we got him. Will Benson rookie card with the Cincinnati Reds here, crossing home plate. Looks like he's pretty fired up. Maybe he just hit a home run or something.
I'm big on the Reds this year. I think they take a big step forward this year. The pitching staff looks all right. If the young guys come together and play well, they can maybe challenge for that division.
We got Michael Lorenzen here with the Detroit Tigers.
Now with the Royals.
Now with the Royals. We got a lot of cards in these packs. It's 14 cards per pack. So I'm kind of breezing through them. Masada Yoshida with the Boston Red Sox rookie card. He'll probably get traded at some point, but still always cool to get a rookie card. Esteury
Absolutely.
Ruiz, which we've pulled before as a rookie card, but we get another one of him.
Athletics actually have a decent outfield this year with Brent Rooker and Lawrence Butler being the two top guys there.
All right, here's the insert card here. It's a pretty cool one. Nice little Japan World Baseball Classic theme card with Yu Darvish.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I would have rather have been Otani for obvious reasons, but Yu Darvish is a nice consolation prize there.
World Baseball Classic, something I could absolutely care less about.
I could care less too, but I don't know. I mean, that's the thing though. The players are so into it though. The whole national pride aspect of it. I guess you saw a lot of that with the Four Nations as well, but I mean, the fans got it. I think the fans got into the Four Nations as well too with the hockey fans. So like, I don't know how many baseball fans really get into the World Baseball Classic.
I'm sure. Listen, baseball. I'm sure the hardcore baseball fans are like, yeah, great World Baseball. And yeah, it's good, but I only got room on my plate for so many things, and the World Baseball Classic just, you go
Not
down the
one of
buffet line, you can't take everything.
Doesn't make the cut. Yes.
Oh.
Let's see. Francisco Lindor celebrating probably a walk-off hit here or something. Probably knew he absolutely crushed a pitch. Jock Peterson, a big fan of Jock Peterson because he wears pearls while he plays, which is pretty badass. I mean,
Yeah.
let's see. D-backs rattle off win here. So there's a celebratory high five there. There's a whole series of celebratory high five cards, apparently. So there's that. And Andrew Vaughn from the Chicago White Sox, who will be absolutely dreadful this year. So that's that one pack, and we got one more to go.
Andrew Vaughn from about a town about 25 minutes south of me. So Petaluma, California.
Well, shout out to Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah, not necessarily living up to expectations, but
it's not his fault. I mean,
he's on the White Sox.
I don't blame you. I blame the guy who hired you.
Yeah, I blame the fact that the team is just atrocious around you. And I don't know if they'll be as bad as last year, but I mean, man, they should be at the basement again.
All right, let's see. Chris Bassett with the Toronto Blue Jays fired up after a strikeout here. I like Chris Bassett. Like, he was fun that year. He was on the Mets. Ford Proctor rookie card. No word if he's related or not to Scott Proctor, the one-time Yankee reliever who Joe Torre used approximately 140 times one season.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm slightly exaggerating, but not really. Let's see. Bo Bichette with the Toronto Blue Jays. Nobody's really talking about him being a free agent at the end of the year. Everyone's talking about Vlad Guerrero Jr., obviously, but I think he's a free agent at the end of the year, so it is what it is.
Bo Bichette's kind of come down over the last couple of years, though.
Yeah, he's not going to be nearly as high demand, but like he should still, get like a pretty good contract.
Yeah.
Alex Killaroff with the Minnesota Twins. Let's see, Colin Moran with the Seattle Mariners. Took me a second to realize what logo that was. I was like, oh yeah, it says the team name in the logo, you idiot. The Klubot, Corey Kluber, here with the Boston Red Sox, true Yankee, threw a no-hitter with the Yankees. So shout out to him.
I think of him as a Indian/Guardian.
Obviously, that's where he had his best years. He won a Cy Youngs. Brendan Donovan with the St. Louis Cardinals, and it looks like this one is a Topps. Holy fuck, I can't read that. That's small. There's like a little Topps like bowl there in the corner or something. I don't know if it's because he won a Gold Glove or what it is.
Oh no, that's like not the rated rookies. That's Donruss. That's they do that sometimes for rookie cards.
All-Star something, but it's so small I can't freaking read it. Like, holy hell.
You're gonna be counting on Brendan Donovan a lot in St. Louis for offensive production.
Michael Conforto with the Giants. Now he's with the Dodgers. One of like the 18 billion players that they spent $1 billion on this year. We got the Anthony Volpe rookie card. So there we go.
Very nice.
Not the first time we've pulled Anthony Volpe, but it's always cool to get one. Let's see what this one is. Brendan Davis rookie card. This one is numbered with the Detroit Tigers. 1877 of 2023. So
That's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
cool
much
card,
about it.
but yeah, it's a cool card, but it's like we were discussing the other, earlier about how like kind of wish like some of these subset cards and these, collectible cards that it was a more notable player, and that's a perfect example because I never heard of that guy until just now. Austin Nola with the Padres. I only got a couple cards left, so we'll be done with this momentarily.
The less talented Nola brother.
Yes. Connor Capel with the Athletics there, rookie card. I don't have no idea if he's still with the Athletics. Who knows? David Bednar with the Pirates. A bit of a flamethrower there. And last but not least, Manny Machado with your San Diego Padres.
I'll be honest. I've been trying to think. So, like, brothers in sports having a podcast together is all the rage nowadays. So I'm trying to think of what the Nola Brothers podcast would go. And I was trying to like play off of the Nola, like if you were going to do like a Spanish theme name somehow. I don't know, but that would be it could be called the Battery Pitcher and Catcher. I don't know, but we can produce podcasts. Nola Brothers, when you're ready. I didn't mean what I said about you being less talented. So there we go.
Yeah, hell of a pitch there, and way to save it. Hey, you kind of. It's like the South Park episode. I don't know if you remember this one where Jay Cutler was on it when he was on the Broncos, and like the boys were all really excited to meet him. It's like, oh, Jay Cutler, you kind of suck, but my dad says you might be good someday. He's like, thanks.
South Park still going strong after all these. I wonder who stops first, Simpsons or South Park. I'm curious who because that would be an interesting one.
I don't know, because the South Park thing's interesting because of how quickly they can make those episodes. Like I'm sure you've seen the documentary of how they put these episodes together in 6 days.
Yeah.
So I'm sure at some point there's just going to be burnout from that, but I don't know.
Either way, both of them still going strong after all these years. Now it's time to get to we'll go out to the West Coast Riff Cam now. We got some 95 top stadium club baseball. We're moving things along briskly here on today's Rip and Riff. I'm enjoying that. Good pace.
That's brisk, baby.
I miss those commercials, the Lipton commercials with like the black and white claymation kind of vibe. Frank Sinatra in those too.
It wasn't actually Frank Sinatra.
I know. There's no way he would take that money. There's no way he would do that.
I'm not even sure he was still alive back then. In 95?
Let's see. Frank Sinatra. When did he die? Frank Sinatra.
They probably licensed his music. Which I'm sure
1998. So yeah, he was. He might have overlapped a little. Might have overlapped a little with that.
How about that? I have no recollection of Frank Sinatra dying, which is weird because like I was, an adult, almost an adult. I was a teenager then, but still.
High school.
All right, that's not here.
I don't have any recollection of it either. My grandmother was a big Sinatra fan. I feel like I would have remembered, but I don't. Nonetheless, that's neither here nor there. Let's go. We got some good. I love the looks of these. The 95 Stadium Club here.
That is the most 90s ass pack to ever exist.
I mean, the color scheme, the just everything about it from top to bottom.
Yeah, that screams, please buy me and some Big League Chew and also like a Powerade.
Wow, a Powerade. Haven't seen one of those in forever. Delino, the Shields there, former Expo there with the Dodgers. Looks like doesn't look like he's happy about signing an autograph there. It's like he signed an autograph for somebody and then they insulted him by saying he was the less talented brother. That's what that looks like right there.
Oh man. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's not happy about something there. Nonetheless, we move on here to one of the better players from the early 90s and one of the more lovable characters, Mr. John Kruk.
Yeah, that was John Kruk when he was, in his fat phase, I guess for lack of a better term. But, a lovable fat guy.
I know it's an optical illusion based on the angle, but that glove looks massive. It looks like he could just like scoop a lobster up, no problem with that mitt. Look at that.
Yeah, I guess when you're a first baseman, you want a really large mitt like that for dealing with stuff like scooping the ball out of the dirt and all that sort of stuff.
Now, what we have here, this kind of was at the back of the pack. This was like they call it a virtual reality checklist. I don't know what's so virtual reality about that besides the font. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Also, I appreciate that mullet that John Kruk is rocking there.
I mean, he was probably one of the last torchbearers for the mullet outside of the hockey world. I mean, it was really starting to go away at that point. We got another one here. We got Todd Zeal, good corner player for the Cardinals, Mets, a few other teams.
Yeah, pretty good player in his day, and he's become a pretty solid post-game studio analyst in his post-playing career because he does a bunch of Mets post-game stuff in SNY, so I get to see him all the time.
All right, we got Aaron Seeley, pictured with the Red Sox, was a good control pitcher in his day. Wasn't a guy that had a ton of speed, but could move the ball around the plate a little. These are good looking cards. I like these. Let's see here. We got one Red Sox. Let's go with another one. This is Wes Chamberlain. Can't say I know much about him. Let's see here. Steve Dreyer, who I can't tell if he's blonde or if he's really old in that picture based on the side hair there. Looks blonde. But
I think he's blonde.
Let's see. We got Jason Beret here pictured with the White Sox. Mediocre pitcher in his day. Let's see here. We've got Fred McGriff, the crime dog. They're pictured with the Braves. Pulled him as a starting lineup figure once. Back that was a Rays figure we got.
You know what I like looking at some of these teams, like these last few cards, the Red Sox, the White Sox, the Braves, their uniforms haven't changed much at all in the last 30 years. It's basically the same exact look as it was, and I love that.
And that's the thing. Like, I know baseball, they'll have a million different uniform combinations with, the City Connect or the batting practices. But overall, the road and the away, the normal ones have pretty much stayed the same for a lot of these teams over the years. I completely agree. No reason to change it. It's like the Seattle Mariners. That's another one. This is a virtual reality insert. It's that Felix Fermin there. Not a big player, but love that Seattle look. Still stayed the same. We got Albie Lopez, another Seattle. Actually, let's do here. The Mariners. Here's with their teal batting practice. Greg Perkle. What a name.
That is a name. I like the teal look there with the Mariners. I don't know how much I'd want him to go to it, but I think it's a solid look.
Got Albie Lopez, picture with Cleveland there. I remember him. He was a solid pitcher. We got Reggie Sanders. This is a good action shot of him rounding the base there.
Yeah, like the Reds, for example. And it's weird that the Reds are this sort of team because they're a historic franchise. They've been around forever. But they're a team that really loves to just change up their uniform look like every 5-10 years or whatnot. And some of them work. Like I like this Reds look here with the red sleeves, but the current one that they have, the red jerseys with the giant reds in script across the front, I don't like those.
I mean, with a team, I understand you only got two colors with red and white with black trim, so like it's tough to do all that much with that. The old Reds logo with I don't know
the pinstripes and the little red C thing on the chest.
Yeah, like that worked.
Yeah,
I agree. We've got a best seal in the house, Matt Williams. Insert there for the Giants. Giants should be an interesting team to watch this year. They are in the NL West, and it's you got the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Padres. So like just right there, and then the Giants are going to try and hang with those. I don't see it happening. But we'll see. And then we've got a league leader insert here. This is probably one of the biggest baseball bats I've ever seen. This must have been like an all-star festivity, but the late great Tony Gwynn there.
Holy hell, that's a big bat.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even say that's like an optical illusion or something. That must be, yeah, like that's got to be like an all-star game shot and some sort of promotional thing, I guess. I don't know what the hell that is. Or maybe like, maybe he didn't have 3,000 hits by then, but he must have had the Padres hits record by then. So maybe that's what they gave him. I don't remember.
Either way, I'm sure that's not something he looked forward to taking home that day. That's not fitting in the car.
No, it's not. That's something that you're going to have to tell the team you're going to have to get this shipped.
Or you're going to have to know if like one of the buddies on the team's got like a pickup truck. Like you might have to be like, hey man, like, and not just like a small pickup truck, like one of those big boys that you see driving around. Like you would need like one of those to get that home. And then
even so, like where the hell do you put that in your house? That might be one where you're just like, thanks, but no thanks. Put it in like the team display in the, in the stadium or something. Put in the team Hall of Fame.
It's like when you like, it's like a gift that's a problem. It's like, what do I do with this now? Like, thanks, but
right,
where am I putting it? How am I getting it home? Like, thanks for these problems. Thanks for this, what I have to solve now. But nonetheless, can't go wrong with a little Tony Gwynn there to close the pack. And for me, that's probably my pull of the day out of this pack. It's not a rookie or anything like that, but insert. Don't have much to pick from today. That's what I'm going with here. What do you got?
Yeah, I would go with probably the Yu Darvish Japan card just because it's a cool, unique look. But I think just for the novelty of how funny it is with the giant bat there, I think I would agree with you and go with Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good one there. We don't get to see it that all. Anytime you get to do a little Tony Gwynn, always a little. There we go. That's pulls of the day. We've ripped up a couple of baseball cards, some baseball packs, some football packs. Time to inject a little hockey into this show. We're going to do a starting lineup figure 5 here. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, you know the rules, or if you don't know the rules, Jared has 5 questions to figure out which starting lineup I have here. He knows what sport. That's it. That's all he gets. And if he gets it right, if he gets it within the 5 questions and a guess, you get to unbox it. So without further ado, it is time to get the figure 5 kicked off. And Jared.
All right, before we do that, I have major breaking news.
All right, hold on. What's the major breaking news?
I'm going to send you a tweet right now in our chat. And if you could pull it up here, that would be much appreciated. I don't know if you have the capability of doing that.
Yeah, just give me a second. I mean, I have no idea what this is, but let's find out.
It's worthwhile. Trust me. I think you would enjoy this.
Oh wow, we got a dog bowl. You know what? You're right. This is worth. We're gonna cut.
Yeah, who gives a shit about hockey? We gotta talk about this.
No, we actually have to do this because this is important news here, and we break down the important things to you here on Rip N Riff. And yeah, so we've got the Nets set this season a dog bowl for $13, 12 hot dogs stuffed inside of a Mets helmet. That helmet looks like oddly shaped. It looks like for somebody for a really wide head.
It does. I completely agree. But you probably have to have a huge helmet like that to fit 12 hot dogs in. I would say 2 things.
It's a good deal.
In terms of ballpark food, incredible value. You're getting 12 hot dogs for $13, and you get the helmet, which you get to keep. Like that is a hell of a value. I might have to go to a Mets game this year. I guess the $1 million question is, could you actually finish all 12 hot dogs, or is this one where you're just like giving them away to the guys sitting in the seat next to you?
So this is similar. It's kind of similar to the 9 dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings challenge, right? That's one of those that's out there right now.
Right. I don't think it's really a challenge. Like, I think they'll just let you buy it.
No, I'm just saying that exists right now. People do that. They try to do 9 and 9. Could I do 12? 12 is a lot.
12's a lot, but like I could do 12. But like I'm also fat, so
I think I could could I get to double digits? Probably, but those last 2, I don't know. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean,
a good. Listen, I understand what hot dogs are. You don't have to tell me. Like, I know what a hot dog can on a good summer day. Perfectly grilled barbecued hot dog, mustard. Oh yeah, like. And the thing is, like, you could sell that helmet for probably $20, $25 by itself. And you're getting $13 for the helmet and 12. They must have like some sort of deal with like whoever their hot dog provider is, whether it's Sabrett's or Nathan's or whoever, that they got to churn out a bunch of them this year. Must have a high quota.
They just gave Juan Soto $765 million. If this is going to be how they're paying for it, they're going to have to raise the price of it because it certainly seems like I'm getting the value here and not the Mets in terms of ripping me off and that sort of thing. But yeah, and I guess the other thing, which is kind of a negative, but you'd have to do it yourself, is like you gotta sit there, you gotta put the little ketchup and the mustard packs in each one.
Well, that's the thing. You can't just, what are you gonna do? You can't go to like where they have the pump dispenser to do 12 hot dogs. You're gonna be there for a good few minutes. You're gonna create a line, so they have to have.
You can't raw dog it.
Nice. My concern with this is going to be the hot dog placement in the bowl, because like it's, like chicken fingers and fries. You dump the fries and you lay the fingers on top, and nothing's going to fall out. But like they're going to be like just thrown in haphazardly. So like,
right, the Yankees have that whole chicken finger bucket thing. It's a large soda, and then there's like a bucket on top of it with chicken fingers and fries. And I'm sure other teams have the same thing as well. So that's interesting. This is the time of year for new ballpark food, because I see this, and then you saw the story yesterday with the Yankees. They're gonna have like a tiramisu helmet, and like I enjoy a good tiramisu. So now, granted, the tiramisu helmet is probably gonna cost like $30, knowing the fucking Yankees, but
where have we gone in sports that you can get tiramisu at a baseball game? You know what I mean? Like. Growing up, it was like they had the plain old ice cream sandwiches and like 2 flavors of like a Minute Maid frozen pop, like pink lemonade and lemon. And that was it.
Maybe a Dippin' Dots. You might get that. The ice cream of the future.
So I cut class the last day, junior year of high school, to go up to the Bronx to watch Clemens versus Pedro. It was a afternoon 1:00 first pitch. Clemens leaves after the first inning because of like either hip or groin issues or whatever. I get this thing of Dippin' Dots, and I end up spilling them all over this guy's shoes next to me. There was like clearly like cutting, like he was there in like business attire, so he was playing hooky too, I guess. I felt bad, but like, what do you want me to do?
Oh my God. All right. Let's see. All right, figure 5. It's a hockey player. That's not a question. That's just a statement of me reminding myself of the dumb game that we're playing. Is this a forward?
No, it is not a forward.
Okay. Is this a defenseman?
Yes.
Is this player in the Hall of Fame?
He is in the Hall.
Did this player ever win a Stanley Cup?
3 times.
Did he win his cups with the Devils?
I think you're onto it. Yes.
Well, I mean, I am and I'm not, because there's 2 guesses here, because there's 2 Hall of Famers that won 3 cups with the Devils. Although I think the differentiating one is one of them won one with the Anaheim Ducks as well. So I'm going to guess it's Scott Stevens.
You, sir, correct. There we go. Back on the winning side of things. Mr. Scott Stevens there. Pictured in the white Devils jersey there, looking sharp. Don't have any Devils in my collection besides Martin Brodeur. I need it. I like to have one of each jersey, the dark and the light. But here we go. I've got the Marty in the red jersey. Now it's time to get Scott Stevens out in the white jersey. Oh,
there
good job.
Go.
Good job.
Yeah. I don't want to say that one was easy, but it felt like you were trying to steer me towards getting back on the winning side.
I mean, I'll be honest. I just when I go downstairs, I'll grab like 6 at a time, and I know I'm covered. This was like the last one in the batch, so it just worked out. There we go. Let's get the figure 5 bet off here. Let's bring up the West Coast Rip Cam again. There is the Scott Stevens card. Now that is what the 95 Fleer looked like, and then with the embossing of the logo and all that, starting lineup just got lazy and decided they were going to slap their logo there, and then that's the card you get. Okay, and there's Mr. Scotty Stevens himself. That camera's not really there. We go a little bit better there. Not the matching pose that we usually like, but nonetheless, still a good-looking starting lineup for a 95 edition there. One of the more
not the
popular.
matching pose. They didn't even put the captain's C on him. They kind of mailed this one in.
Yeah, they could have easily put that on there. Maybe it was too much for them to do at 95, but nonetheless, Scott Stevens. How many times this season do you think he'd be suspended today if he played that way today?
That is a really good question, because the thing with Scott Stevens was there were a lot of big-time hits. They were all clean hits for the most part. Right.
People keeping their head down, not paying attention.
Right. Like he never like this isn't a situation with like Truba where like he's like leaping and throwing like a flying elbow or something. Like, yeah, they're big, devastating, crushing hits, but like they're not, dirty hits. So we just want to put that out there. That said, I don't know how much he would have done it during the regular season. Because I think he probably understood that you have to sort of leave something in the tank for the playoffs. And, especially someone like him who played a million playoff games, but and the playoffs, like they don't really want to suspend guys. So I'm like he'd probably get like the occasional 1 or 2 game suspension. Like there would be a really bad hit, like the Paul Correa hit is probably a good example.
Yeah.
Where he totally lays the guy out and it just looks really bad. And yeah, it might be a clean hit, but like it just looks bad. And the league's like, well, we just got to we got to give him something. Like you can't give him nothing. So, it's like, all right, I guess we give him the next game. And so that would be my guess.
And it also depends on who's on the receiving end of the hit, because you remember Korea and then, of course, the Lindros hit in the conference finals. I mean, that's 2 of the bigger faces of the game at that point versus like if he had laid out some, third line left wing from the original version of the Winnipeg Jets.
Right. And Stevens had a really good quote with this, and it's something where I agree with him. Like, I forget who he said this to after his post-playing career, but he was basically like, I don't get a free ride out there, so nobody gets a free ride from me. And like, that's what I want from a hockey player. Like, the other guys aren't going to make it easy on me, so I'm not going to make it easy on them.
And the other thing too is it doesn't matter what level you're playing at. You're supposed to keep your head up. And if you're skating around with your head down, things are going to happen eventually.
See, I hate that saying though, because, sometimes like sometimes you're just going to get your head down. You're looking for the puck. You're trying to, you're trying to actually play the puck. You're trying to, so like I get sometimes you have to have your head on a swivel and kind of know what's going on and your surroundings and whatnot. And you have to know when you're going into the boards that you're gonna have to brace for a hit. So there's that as well. But I feel like that excuses the perpetrator. So I don't know that I necessarily always agree with that.
I'll say this: it depends on the area. Once you start, like as a defenseman, if you're coming into my zone, that's when your head needs to be up. Now you're in my zone. Now you're on my turf. Because there's no reason for me to go and lay a big hit when you're in your own end of the rink or coming through. But once you're in my zone, no. Keep your head up. Now you're not, there's no reason you should get blasted in front of your own goalie by the dots. That's unnecessary. But once you come in the zone, if you think you're going to do this and look at the puck, no, sorry.
I think what bothers me more is just like the unnecessary like cross checks and stuff like that. Like you got guys, they're battling for position in the front of that, and the guy just throws one extra cross check at the end to somebody's kidney. It's like, is that really necessary? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that stuff I don't like, and I said this on Total Hockey Now last week. The stuff I really don't like is like what Connor Zary did, where it's like, okay, fine. You saw Kadri take a big hit. Things happen fast. You don't know if it was a clean hit or not. You got to go and defend your guy. But then he goes and he sucker punches him in the side of the head. And it's like, no. You're going to stand up for your guy. You get in their face. Punch him in the face. Do it. But you look at the person. You don't do it from the... That's a bitch move. To me, that reveals your character. When you do something from behind or from the side and the person can't expect it. Now, if that person did something where if it's eye for an eye, maybe it's a little different. But like if you're going to stand up for your teammate, at least get in their face first. Because like, I'm sorry, that makes you a bitch when you do things from the side like that. It just, again, shows what kind of player you are. Not to say you can't be rehabilitated, not to say you can't be better, not to say you can't be tough, not to say you can't punch a guy in the teeth to prove a point. When you punch somebody in the teeth, you're usually looking at them. And you're giving them a chance to defend themselves. Yeah,
that's also a young player who's only been in the league a couple of years, probably doesn't know better, and there's probably a veteran on the team, and they have a bunch of veterans on that Flames team where somebody probably pulled them aside, and it's just like, hey, that's not how we do things. This is how we handle it.
There's certain things that I will let the young player excuse get away from. I'm sorry. The first time you're on a playground fight, some people never get in a playground fight, but the first one, you don't sucker punch somebody, you don't do something because that's dirty. You get called out on that. And you learn that if you don't have the common sense to know that punching someone in the face is a lot different than an unexpected punch from behind, then you're a fucking moron. You deserve
Fair
whatever's
enough.
coming to you. You deserve to get your head blasted into the boards. Maybe it'll knock some sense into you.
Fair enough.
Nonetheless, starting lineup figure. Yeah, that one really pissed me off. I went off on Total Hockey Now on that one. That was a big one. But starting lineup figure 5 here. As we take a look, we decided to we'll open with the little March Madness. We'll close with a little March Madness. There's some basketball players, some legendary college figures there. You see Magic Johnson and Larry Bird had their epic showdown in the when the Magic was with the Michigan State and Larry was with Indiana State. And then the Houston Cougars, one of the top seeds in this tournament, a number 1 seed. They had Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon playing for the Houston Cougars back in the early 80s. So got those two there. So little March Madness, a little basketball. Figure we inject that. We don't do it. I might do a basketball pack soon next week, though. But Scott Stevens, he's going to be joining the starting lineup studio audience next week.
How about that? We'll have to find I don't know what the theme will be with Scott Stevens. Maybe people from Jersey. He's not from Jersey though. That's the thing. He's Canadian, but he played in Jersey professionally. So maybe we could do that.
We could do
if we're taking requests. Maybe we could do that.
We could do hard hitters. We can do defense. Yeah, there's a lot of Scott Stevens gives you a couple directions.
You could do captains. You could do you could do a lot of stuff.
Now, speaking of the Devils, what do you got coming up and allaboutthejersey.com?
That is a great question, and I'll get an answer to you next week because I haven't written next week's article yet. My article from a couple of days ago was about how the team needs to play Jake Allen more down the stretch because Jacob Markstrom has not looked particularly good since he returned from injury, and nothing that I have written is out of date as of this moment. The point still holds true.
So going into the playoffs with the injuries they're dealing with, I mean, what is the expectation for the Devils here? Maybe to make the Hurricanes sweat a little bit in the first round, and you'll be okay with that, or?
I think if they get to like a game 6 in the first round, that's probably good enough for me at this point. Like, get me that third home game in a playoff series. Like, I don't really have any expectations that they're going to go and win a series at this point. I think in the Eastern Conference, you clearly have different tiers of where these teams are, and like, I don't know how I would order the top 5 teams in the Eastern Conference, but Toronto, Florida, Tampa, Washington, Carolina, but I would put them all on one tier.
And it's everybody else.
And then I would put like Jersey and Ottawa on a second tier, and then everybody else. So basically everybody who's competing for that 8th seed. So like the Islanders, the Rangers, Columbus, Montreal, like they're all on that tier right now. So that's sort of how I view the Eastern Conference hierarchy. These stinks.
I wouldn't say it stinks. It's just like you said, it's those 5 teams, and that's it. Like there's the Devils are playing injured, so like that you're not getting a complete version of them. Ottawa's on the rise; they're playing well at the right time. But I would love it if they got Toronto in the first round because they could. That would be a storyline. They could upset the Maple Leafs. Battle of Ontario in the first round.
See, that would actually frustrate me as a Devils fan because if you got that. And then if you got like Montreal, Washington, and the history there with like Halak shutting down the Capitals 15 years ago, whenever that series was, and it's like if you can actually get like a little shenanigans there, and I think Washington is, I look, we had this conversation before in the show. I like Washington. I thought they were a playoff team, but like they're not this fucking good. Like there's that as well. Like to me, they're a bit of a paper tiger in that sense. So, like, I think they could very well get picked off by, a team that, I don't know if Montreal's the team to do it, but like, I feel like if the Rangers ever got in, like, the Rangers would beat Washington, and I don't even think it'd be close.
You think the Rangers would beat Washington? I heard that correctly.
Yeah, I think the Rangers would beat Washington.
Because they'd come in with, like, basically an approach of, like, hey, we have nothing to lose.
It's house money. There's nothing to lose. And by the way, every time we play in the playoffs, we beat you anyways. So.
And listen, I know Logan Thompson's having a good year, and Shesterkin hasn't necessarily been top-notch, but still he's a better goalie than Thompson. I don't think there's any argument there. Wow. You're giving me something to think about there. But
the problem with the Rangers is their defense blows. They can't defend. They made all these changes. Their defense blows.
I do agree that the Capitals can absolutely get. I know they're playing very well, but they can absolutely get picked off in the playoffs. They're not like they're by one of those other 4 teams that you talked about in the top 5. Absolutely.
Yeah. If I had to pick right now, I would take Florida to come out of the East, but that's just me.
I might go Carolina right now out of the East. I listen. I know Freddie Anderson is very fragile, but if they have him and Kochetkov, I think they'll be okay. Total Hockey Now, new episode dropped yesterday. We'll have another episode next week with the playoffs coming up. Anything coming up on YouTube, Jared Moore Poker?
If I ever get around to producing those shorts, yeah, absolutely. I did record a travel vlog for
That's right.
my trip to Turning Stone and my trip back. I don't know how good it's going to be because all I did is lose and complain about it. But I'll go through the footage at some point and we'll put something together and put it up on the YouTube. So maybe in the next couple weeks.
Very nice. And don't forget, you can always reach out to the show, ripnriff@gmail.com. Looking forward to Jared's pissed off travel vlog on the way home when that drops. Certainly be checking that out. But for at Mr. Jared Moore, I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. Back with you next week with an all new episode of Rip and Riff here on the Rip and Riff YouTube channel.